Rise and shine with us here on this Saturday morning in Chicago, Illinois. It's day 2 of pool play here at the 2024 MLB Nike RBI Central Regional Tournament. Today we got Indianapolis at 2-0 and Milwaukee at 1-1. First of 4 games on the schedule today. We'll see the Cubs Nike RBI team again in a little bit. They go on a back-to-back. We also get our first look at Twins Nike RBI as well. With that, we say hello. Welcome inside the broadcast booth alongside James Lincoln. I'm Captain Malater. Thanks for stopping by. And James, we talked about this Indy team yesterday. We saw both their games. They went 2-0. Their offense was absolutely dominant. So how do they keep the ball rolling?
Yeah, they got to keep the ball rolling. If you're this Indy team right now, you got to be sure of it about making sure that you're swinging for the fences that first off, offering at those first pitches. And of course, that's what they've been doing these past couple games. Pitching staff as well has been phenomenal. There have been only 2 runs in this past 2 games that they've had. They just got to keep on standpoint, and that's how they're going to be able to get to this championship game.
This is our first look at Milwaukee. They played 2 games yesterday at the other senior baseball division site, the Nike RBI team from Wisconsin, back in a regional for the first time since 2018. And they're very so much alive in this thing at 1-1. How can they get 2 wins and put themselves in title contention?
Yeah, in order to put themselves into title contention, it all starts off with the defense, of course, because of how good this Indy team has been. So in order to make sure that less runs are shown up on the board by this Indy team, they're going to have to do a lot of that. It is a definitely do-or-die situation against this Indy team as we see coming up.
We are set to go. This is going to be a great baseball game on tap for you. Indianapolis Nike RBI and Milwaukee Nike RBI. First pitch coming up next. Welcome you back to Curtis Granderson Stadium. Good morning, everyone. Cabin Malater, James Winkin, Milwaukee, and Indy getting set to go. The Nike RBI program out of Wisconsin 1-1 in their first day back in a regional event. Since 2018, Indy tied with White Sox Nike RBI for first place in the senior division pool with a 2-0 record. Armani Camus, the second baseman, to lead things off here for Milwaukee. Jack Pine is the right-handed pitcher to start things off for Indy.
Yeah, no, we saw a little bit of Jack Pine and a small data portion last night. He had a pretty good set of command in that last portion of that game yesterday.
Came off the bench, came in relief. The 0-1. A hard hit ground ball through the left side for a base hit. So on the second pitch of the game, Camus has the leadoff single here for Milwaukee.
And if you're Milwaukee, that will wake you up right there. It's a do or die situation, of course, with it being 1-1 against this tough Indy team. So really great start with some great hitting just off the bat.
Yeah, they won their opening game in the tournament 13-1 over Twins Nike RBI, but then followed it up on the wrong side of a 10-4 scoreline to White Sox Nike RBI. That was the Sox second win of the day after they opened up the tournament with a 7-4 win over the Cubbies. As they'll check down the runner at first, back in there with Adivas Camus. This is Lawson Hink is the hitter. He's the center fielder for Milwaukee Nike RBI. A program that is thrilled to be back here in a regional event. It's been a long time coming, a couple of years removed from the global pandemic in which there was no RBI baseball in the city of Milwaukee. When talking to their head coach. And there's another base hit to the left side. Hank of a line drive through the 5-6 hole. And the first two men are aboard with really nice singles here, and there's still no one out in the first.
Yeah, some really nice singles there. Again, through that 5-6 hole. It's the same thing. Both hitters able to get back-to-back hits there. And they're able to just steadily be on the base paths, and we'll see how this keeps going on with this Milwaukee team.
So now with 2 on, no one out, here's Nolan Dankert, the left fielder, batting from the left side. He takes that one for a cold strike on the outside corner. The outfield and the defense, Mendoza, Rienstra, Kirikov, and Seats from left to right. Combs, Mendes is the left side. Hunt, Jacobs the right side with Lockhart as the backstop. As Dankert fouls that one off to the left side, and it's quickly 0-2. Gorgeous Chicago Saturday morning, low 70s. As Pine comes sets the 0-2 home. Flowing in the air, left field, charging in and dropping the ball is Mendoza, and it caroms towards the sidewall. They'll hold up Camus at third, so they're loaded here for Milwaukee on what is going to be ruled an E7.
Yeah, great break there for Indy. They're able to load the bases. Ducks on the pond now. E7, a very unfortunate start for Indy as they're just such a strong team these past 2 games. Still very, very early on in the game, though, of course.
In their 2 games yesterday, they committed just 1 error as in a team. That came back in the 4th inning in their game last night against Gary Nike RBI. It was an E4 charged to their second baseman and Carter Hunt. He gets the nod again there at the 4-hole spot. Enrique Carmona, the first baseman, quickly in an 0-2 count.
Yeah, I think with this Indy team, though, the thing that we saw last night was that they had the 2 last games here at Curtis Granderson Field. The difference today, they're waking up, still trying to find their mojo probably for today. So it's definitely a change in scenery from going from those early games to those later games in the day.
Ball 2 strikes the count. It's a quick turnaround. They were the last game yesterday and the first game today, like James was saying. Here's the 1-2, bases loaded. Off the plate, and the count evens out. And how tough is that for an athlete? I mean, they had the advantage yesterday, I guess you could say, because even though they had to play the back-to-back, which is really tough on a player, as that's off the end of the bat towards the right side, heading towards foul territory. That's a foul ball. And granted, they played the back-to-back, but they didn't have to play their first game until the afternoon session began. Now all of a sudden they had to play the back-to-back in the afternoon session, which included playing the last game, and now they get the first game overall on the day. Here's the 2-2. He fights it off.
Yeah, it's a very, very quick turnaround. You have those 2 back-to-back games. Of course, they're able to very much so dominate their opponent, so not as much pitching needed in those last 2 games and able to get much rest until the afternoon. But with this game being so early on in the morning at the 9 a.m. spot, it's a very quick turnaround. I'm sure they're still trying to digest their breakfast a little bit, and it takes a little bit more time to kind of figure out their surroundings and where they're at as of now.
Julian Halika, the manager of Milwaukee, looking on as his cleanup hitter has worked the count full after falling behind 0-2. Carmona's done a nice job staying alive in this at-bat. Here's the 3-2. Upstairs, and Milwaukee strikes first.
Such great discipline by their hitter right there. I mean, he's able to just work the count 0-2, and then from there making sure that he's able to draw a walk out of all of that. Props to him.
So it's 1-0, and Lockhart's going to go out there and chat things over with his battery made out on the bump. And this Indy team, granted, I know it's just 1 run. I mean, they only trailed once yesterday, and that was when they gave up a run to the leadoff hitter for Gary Nike RBI. They went out to then outscore them the rest of the way 11-1. An opportunity here for this Milwaukee Nike RBI team. First pitch nearly clips Sean Harmon. He's the catcher that was the home run derby representative for Milwaukee Nike RBI.
Yeah, and if you're a pitcher here, Sean Harmon, pitching to Sean Harmon is going to be difficult with all that power that he is possessed in that home run derby. So, I mean, Pine right now, the past 2 pitches, of course, balls, he's probably working a little bit around him, especially with the bases loaded.
2-0. Harmon got a piece of it. And the count goes to 2-1. Bases loaded, still no one out here in the top of the first. That one hits Harmon in the helmet, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee Nike RBI. Command becoming an issue right here for the Indy right-hander, and an early mound visit here for the pitching coach.
Yeah, rightfully deserved. There should be a mound visit by the pitching coach as of now. If you're Pine, you're kind of just having to figure it out, talk with everybody around you, and just try and figure out the command as quickly as possible.
So I'll bring up the third baseman, Jackson Glizchiniski. He awaits, bases loaded, 2-0 score, still nobody out. Third baseman for Milwaukee Nike RBI, product of Brookfield Central, just graduated back in May. That's in Brookfield, Wisconsin. Right-handed thrower and hitter.
I like the last name of Glizchiniski. Has a nice ring to it.
And he waves and then misses through that one. 0-1. He's the 6th batter to come to the plate already here in the Milwaukee first. Now the windup, the 0-1. Cut on and miss, 0-2 quickly on another high fastball.
Yeah, some great high fastballs by Pine right there. I'm sure the meeting definitely helped him out. He's able to get his control on this batter right now.
Weak tapper off the end of the bat, charging as the third baseman Combs. He comes to the plate. They'll get the force out there. Everyone else is safe. So it remains 2-0. As heads-up defense there from J.J. Combs at third.
Yeah, some great heads-up defense there by J.J. Combs. He's able to just realize that the only play is going to be at that plate. He's able to charge that baseball, make sure that it's secure, and give a quick little toss to the catcher.
Here's DeAndre
Leandra Lathan, the designated hitter. Enrique Carmona on third, Sean Harmon on second, Gliz Chiniski on first. 2-0 score. Here's the 0-1. And on the hands. If you're Milwaukee, Nike RBI, how big would this be to put up a solid crooked number right here against India, a team that we know has an offense that's capable of doing a ton of damage. Here's the 1-1. Outside corner, taken for strike 2. That's got to be massive.
Yeah, it would definitely be massive if Milwaukee is able to just open up the gauge just right off the bat.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. You got Lathan out in front and tied him up with an upstairs fastball, and there's 2 gone. So it's up to the shortstop, Jamil Torres, here with 2 away.
That pitcher's conference definitely seems to have helped out Pine. He's able to just come back with it, get the next 2 guys out.
Strike 1 there. Torres. Class of 2025, Milwaukee, Wisconsin native. Goes behind 0-2 as he swings through a changeup. Torres put fight the 0-2. In tight. Another fastball. Haven't seen a ton of breaking balls yet in this first inning from Pine. 2 out here, bases loaded. Out of the lineup, here's the 1-2. Fouled back.
After a decent amount of fastballs by Pine, you'd think if you're in that driver's seat right now with that 1-2 count, kind of go with that off-speed pitch.
Another 1-2. Down and away. Torres is the number 8 hole man in this lineup. The right fielder, Max Brackett, on deck. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Pine gets out of it. Milwaukee strikes first, a pair of runs for the Nike RBI club out of Wisconsin. We'll go to the bottom of the first, 2-0. MKE on top. Welcome back. 2-0. Milwaukee Nike RBI able to capitalize. So because of 2 runs that the club out of Wisconsin was able to put up, as here's Micah Rintra-Kiriakov, the home run derby champion from Thursday night, takes that one downstairs. This is one of those stats that is just so wild to think about, but it's true. This 2-run hole is the biggest deficit Indy's had to face this tournament.
Yeah, it's a crazy stat line there to realize that you only have a 2-run deficit, and that's the most amount of runs you've been down this whole tournament. It just shows how dominant Indy has been so far.
Kirikov goes up 2-0. Nolan Witkowicz is the right-handed thrower for Milwaukee, and he gets a strike in there. 2-1 is the count for the right-hander. Witkowicz, class of 2025, going into his senior year of high school. And he'll step off and they'll go through the signs, and Sean Harmon's going to go out there to make sure they're all on the same page.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication by the pitcher and catcher there. You got to make sure that you're on the same page sign-wise.
Two balls, one strike, the count. Here's the pitch to Rinsa Kirikov. In there, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike here to the leadoff man from Indianapolis.
You know, speaking about signs, and specifically with a catcher, they're usually just doing figure motions on specifically showing a 3 or a 2 or 1 off of what specific pitch they're throwing. I wonder if have you as a catcher, or have you seen catchers do other specific signs that you kind of like?
Yeah, so it was weird because I caught and then pitched when I played. Here's the 3-2. Called strike 3. Indy fans don't like that one. Rinsa Kirikov shaking his head as he goes back to the dugout. And the leadoff man has been retired. That was a very close, one of those spots where I think if there's the major leagues, it's a walk, but because the high school level, the zone is just naturally bigger.
Yeah, zone is definitely naturally bigger in high school.
On the ground on 2 hops, that's Camus up with it, and there's 2 away. Cam Seats there on the 4-3 ground, and DJ Mendes will come up. He's the shortstop for Indy this morning.
If you guys have been following us and following Indy as a whole, this is a guy to watch. He has 4 RBIs in his past 2 games already. Such a heavy hitter, especially the guy behind him as well.
Mendes and Jacobs combined for 9 runs driven in yesterday. 9 of the 23 that they scored as a team were because of the bats from their 3 and 4 home men on the lineup card this morning. It's an 0-1 count. Witkowicz fires. Just missed upstairs on a slider. To your earlier point, though, about the signs, usually the wiggle of the fingers to indicate would sometimes indicate, for at least for me, when my catcher and I did it, this is a fly ball down the right field line, wrong run for Brackett. He dives and he can't get there. That's a fair ball as it rolls all the way to the corner. Mendes flying around. He's going for 3. Relay throw in from right field is offline as DJ Mendes has himself a 2-out triple.
Beautiful contact there by Mendes. Again, this guy just keeps on rolling with his hitting, as we're able to see another triple by him today.
So now Will Jacobs will come on up. The first baseman who had the first home run here at Granderson for the tournament yesterday, a 2-run shot against Kansas City, Nike RBI.
Yeah, it was a beautiful shot, just a rocket all the way out to left field.
And he gets jammed and pops that one up right side. Camus calls off the dogs and makes the catch. A scoreless first inning defensively for Milwaukee Nike RBI. We've played 1. It's 2-0 here on the Windy City Sports Network. Back with you here for the second inning. 9 in the top of the order already for Milwaukee, due up here in the visitors' half of inning number 2. Maddox Brackett laces that one up the middle and down for a base hit. The number 9 hole man comes through with a first pitch rocket back up the middle.
Great piece of contact right there by Brackett as he's able to make contact just right off the first pitch he sees.
Brackett, the right fielder today, as the top of the order now comes back up for its second go-around. Armani Camus, who had a leadoff single, took the ball game, later came around to score. Comes up a runner on first. Brackett nearly made a phenomenal diving catch down the right field line in the bottom half of the first. Expands his lead as Camus takes strike 1. The 1. Outside corner, it's 0-2.
Now, really great pitching now from Hines. As you see, he's able to get control of his command in this top half of the second.
Back up the middle and down for a base hit. Rainstruck Kirchhoff coming quickly to second. His throw skips in there, which allows Brackett to beat it up. He had to hold up to make sure that ball wasn't going to get caught. Rainstruck Kirchhoff knew he probably wasn't going to catch it on the fly, so did the heads-up play of holding up, trying to get that force out at the very least.
Yeah, it was a great hustle play by Rainstruck Kirchhoff right there. I mean, of course, it's one of those 50-50 balls where you're thinking to yourself, should I dive for it? If you dive for it and don't catch it, that's going to put you in the hole with even more runs. So smart plays by him. He's able to keep it heads up and throw it into second quickly.
On the ground, left side. Calms the third baseman as it go in and out of his mitt. Spins and turns and throws, and it's not in time. Lawson Hink is aboard, and the bases are loaded for the second straight inning for Milwaukee. Nike RBI.
Yeah, Milwaukee is just on a roll right here. Already back-to-back innings where they have bases loaded. And great effort played by Combs right there. He's just juggling the ball a little bit, trying to see if he's able to flip it to second. Doesn't have enough time, and just thankfully able to give it to
First pitch
base.
swinging down the right field line and foul off the bat of Nolan Dankert. That would have been fair and would have been for extra bases and multiple runs. They gave Combs, despite the great effort, an error for the play, so the second error of the game already for Indy.
Yeah, and this is something that we haven't really seen from Indy too much. No real errors until this game here, and pitching today has just been a bit of a struggle. Pine has been able to have a lot of control, but they're just mashing.
Fly ball left field down the line and foul ground. Mendoza hangs up and lets it drop. Probably the smart play, because he catches that ball, probably brings in a run there.
Yeah, smart play by Mendoza, just looking at it and realizing that if it's going to be caught, he has to throw it home as well. So that's going to be a tough play for him.
Kick in the 0-2. Dankert flies that one to center field. Actually, that ball just dies in the sky as the shortstop Mendes makes the catch. They'll deliver the infield fly rule late. So there's out number 1 as Carmona now comes back up. He had the RBI walk his last time, trying to expand the Milwaukee early 2-run lead.
Yeah, Carmona, he went from 0-2 to that 4-2 count, able to drive in himself to get a walk, so he has some really great discipline at that plate.
Waves at that fastball, 0-1. Good height cheese there from Pine. Milwaukee on top 2-0. Brackett on third, Camus on second, Hink on first. Now the lineup, the 0-1. Popped up foul, and once again Carmona's in a hole for the second straight plate appearance.
Second straight plate appearance where he's back in that hole. First pitch that he swung at was a little bit high, but still, it's one of those pitches where you get really hungry, especially with ducks on the pond.
0-2. That one hits him, and it brings in the third run. Second bases loaded, hit by a pitch that a Milwaukee Nike RBI player has gotten, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, this is not where you want to be if you're Pine. You have him 0-2 and then give it up with a hit by pitch. His command has been a little iffy here and there. I mean, definitely the balls that have been hit have been strikes, of course, and they've been really good location-wise. It's just Milwaukee has just been hitting a lot lately.
Harmon takes strike one. 3 runs on 4 hits. They've also been the beneficiaries of 2 Indianapolis errors thus far. Now the lineup, the 0-1. Slider dipped away from Harmon. He was the first hit by pitch with the bases loaded, which driven in a run. Carmona, by the way, has driven in 2 of the 3 runs, then they've all been on free passes. As Harmon skies that one in the infield. In foul territory, Combs loses his hat but makes the catch for out number 2.
Classic play by Combs there. He's able to just corral that baseball. And as a fan, you're thinking to yourself, it's one of those, it looks like an easy play, but when you're in that field, it's pretty tough catching those high pop flies in the foul territory.
Not a lot of wind today this morning. When it's really windy here in Chicago, it becomes a lot trickier.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of games that we've seen.
Line drive to left, Mendoza charges and it gets in front of him and down for a base hit. Into scores Camus, Hink right behind him. Going for third is Carmona. Throw there and they throw it away, but a nice job by Mendes to back it up. Carmona slow to get up there at third. It's a 2 RBI hit there. As long as it's not ruled an error, which actually it is, so it eliminates both RBIs. It's 5-0 Milwaukee Nike RBI, but the concern now goes to Carmona on the slide there. I think his hand might have gotten stepped on. He's shaking it off right now. And Combs was immediately there apologizing to him, so I think that's probably what happened. Obviously, we don't know for sure, so we don't want to assume, but just based off of the rapid shaking of the left hand and Combs immediately apologizing, and there's the fist bump afterwards. That's what I assumed it would be. It's 5-0 Milwaukee on the E7 there. Second error out there for Mendoza and left.
Yeah, and if you're Mendoza right there, it's a tough play that you got to just make sure to grab. It's one of those that you're kind of thinking to yourself, man, I should have had that, but you got to just think to yourself now, it's on to the next one.
Game back underway. Lathan takes that one high, and those are a couple of talked about for Milwaukee. Getting on the right foot and building up some big runs. That right there will help. That's a hit by pitch and the bases are loaded again.
Yeah, and the third batter hit by pitch already these past 2 innings. Control's definitely been an issue right here. It's something that's very unfortunate.
We're still in the top of the second, 2 out. Jamil Torres, the hitter. Cuts and misses, strike 1. Fastball at second corner.
You know, if you're Milwaukee right now, you're kind of just taking a breath of fresh air.
Oh, he hits him there, and it's 6-0. Another hit by pitch with the bases loaded. Milwaukee's doing it right now. A couple up loops, sets up a painful RBI yet again.
Yeah, this Milwaukee team is going to really need some ice after this game. Already 4 guys hit.
And they've batted around here in the second inning. Brackett, who led off the frame with a single and a run scored, now comes up for the second time. Still 2 outs in the inning. Big cut there. Brackett really wanted that fastball.
Yeah, it looked, his eyes just wide and wide open. I mean, he was looking for that pitch.
Lays off another hop upstairs fastball, and it's 1-1. 6-0.
You know, with a name like Brackett, you would assume that he would love March Madness.
I mean, he probably does. I mean, who doesn't love March Madness is the real question. 1-2. Brackett lands that one in the left center field. Long run for Rincer Kareev. Oh, what a catch! Rincer Kirikov lays out and makes a spectacular catch to end the inning.
Amazing grab, amazing hustle play by Kirikov right there. He's able to just solely dive for that baseball. Makes a great catch.
Milwaukee sends 10 guys to the plate. They score 4 times and they lead by 6. Back in a moment. Bottom 2. As Milwaukee Nike RBI on top 6-0 over the team that entered because of the tiebreakers as the #1 seed in Indianapolis Nike RBI. Only 2 runs allowed and a run differential of +21 entering play this morning. White Sox Nike RBI also 2-0. They're in action right now, and they're on top 3-0 over Kansas City Royals Nike RBI. And this is the morning, and this is the day where the standings you really start to look at. You look at the other scores. Strike 1 there to J.J. Combs, the 3rd baseman. And really the past couple of years, it's the afternoon. Once around that 2 o'clock window is when you really start to pay attention to the standings and the other scores to see where everyone's going to fall. Combs off the end of the bat, a line drive to right center field. That splits the gap for a base hit. Nice job by Brackett to cut off the angle there in the alleyway, and it holds Combs to a long but yet very productive leadoff single, which is what they needed.
Yeah, definitely what Indy needed right there. They're able to get a person on base as soon as possible. Coming back to your conversation about the runs and everything that's needed for as the clock kind of strikes 12 on the opposite side of things. It's definitely important to think to yourself for Indy that if they win this game, they're kind of in that driver's seat and already going to possibly be in that championship game. But still a long ways to go, of course. And if you're Milwaukee right now, you're kind of patting yourself on your back.
Milwaukee enter this one with a 1-1 record. 3 teams at 1-1. Milwaukee, Kansas City, and Minnesota. The 1-1. Too high. They fake the throw back. Runs allowed right now on that tiebreaker would see Milwaukee be the best seeded team, but they're in 3rd because of the work the White Sox Nike RBI program has done so far through 2 games. 2-1 here, and that one misses high. This is Carter Hunt. He's the 2nd baseman for Indianapolis this morning. Yeah, but I mean, we were talking about it yesterday, both on and off the air, that virtually every team is still in it. Gary probably has the toughest route, is probably out. I know the Cubs Nike RBI team's 0-2 as well, but if the right sequence of events happen and the right teams lose, you could still get in with 2-2. We haven't seen it yet, but it is mathematically possible as Hunt cuts and misses and it goes to 3-2.
Yeah, and if you're a statistician right now, you're kind of at the edge of your seat looking at all of these numbers and realizing, hey, even though it might not seem that it's in our favor, especially if you're Gary or the Cubs RBI's teams right now sitting at 0-2. That's why we have another day of pool play. So anything is really possible when it comes to up in these early games, and then once it kind of cuts till that 12-2 window, that's when we start to see a lot of that chaos.
Here's Brian Lockhart, the catcher. 2 guys on, no one out. Here in the Indianapolis second inning. If Indy wants to get truly in that driver's seat, they're 2-0, and with the best runs allowed and the best run differential, they are in the driver's seat now, but with the Sox currently winning, that throws a wrench in things. They have a lot of work to do, and it starts right now.
Yeah, it definitely throws a wrench in things, but I mean, they have this inning so far has been going their way, of course, as it's 0-2, but they got 2 on. If they're able to drive in a few runs here, that can help them, definitely.
0-2. Swinging a fly ball, center field. Hank camping underneath it. Makes the catch. Faking the tag up was Combs, and will hold at second base, so it's a much needed first out there for Litkowicz in this Milwaukee defense.
Yeah, some smart base running there by Combs as he just holds up at second. Sees a center fielder's arm and just kind of testing that to see if it's going to be an overthrow or not. Perfect execution right there. So he holds up at second and first. Indy is down to getting their first out.
Jorge Mendoza has had a couple of errors out there in left field this morning.
Yeah.
Good slider, just misses downstairs. Yeah, and Mendoza right now, this is an opportunity for him to kind of make up for it.
Yeah, definitely some redemption arc in this one. Having those 2 errors, that can put you, especially in a rut. So that's why we have the offense and then the defense. On the defensive side, it hasn't been his morning, but offensively he can switch things up and make himself feel a bit better about himself and more balanced.
1 ball, no strike count here. Mendoza, the 8th hole man in the lineup, the DH on deck next. Litkowicz behind, trying to get a second out here. He's got the double play up the middle, and the corners are crashing in. Mendoza goes up 2-0 as another fastball misses high.
A great eye by Mendoza right there. As Ekowitz, his location has been perfect today. Just those 2.
Gets back in the AB though for strike. Outside corner, strike 2. Mendoza out of Arsenal Technical High School in Indianapolis. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. The pitch. He got him. Nasty breaking ball on the outside corner there, 2 away.
And that's just called a chef's kiss right there. I mean, Ekowitz is just able to strike out Mendoza. Goes up 2-0, all the way back, strikes him out.
So now Carson Griggs is the DH, and he takes strike 1 on the outer third. Still nothing across here for Indy. They have 2 hits and a walk as a team, as an offense so far. They've struck out twice. The 0-1. Griggs takes it. It's a fastball. It's in there for strike 2.
Yeah, and if you're in this Indy team, time to switch the switches now, because these past 2 innings, no runs really on the board. But the past 2 games, they've had a lot of runs go across that board yesterday.
23 runs on 19 hits as a team in their first 2 games yesterday against Royals, Nike RBI, and Gary, Nike RBI. They've struggled to get one here, though. 1-2 with 2 away. Slider upstairs, and it's 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nice job by Litkowicz. Sees the first 2 guys reach base, but neither of them come around to score. We've played 2 at 6-0 Milwaukee on the Windy City Sports Network. Inside Curtis Granderson Stadium on the campus of the University of Illinois at Chicago. Captain Malater, James Winkin, Milwaukee Nike RBI, up 6-0 over Indy Nike RBI. Day 2 of pool play beginning this morning. Milwaukee virtually playing with their backs against the walls at a 1-1 record. Indy at 2-0, so they have a little leniency here, but obviously you don't want to get too out of hand. If you're going to lose today as a 2-0 team, you want to lose close, so that way you can put yourself in a position to be in over on some tiebreaker rules. The 1-0, so we're going to fly ball right field, Seats towards the foul line, and he makes the catch for out number 1.
A great catch by Seats over there. Coming back to what you were saying, Kevin, yeah, as a 2-0 team, you want to make sure that this game becomes really close, but as time goes on, it seems that it's kind of falling away from them as it's a 6-0 lead already for Milwaukee.
Brings up Lawson Hink. The top of the order was due up here for Milwaukee. That was Camus who flew out to right field. That one. Caroms to the backstop. Hink 1 for 2. Single and scored in the first, reached on an error, made it third, and later came around to score last inning. 1-0. Hink off the end of that, pops it up right side, out of play.
That one just a little bit off the bat of Hink. He's done some really great work, though, having that contact with the single. That error, though, of course, not counting to his name as a hit as always, but
1-1. Check the swing there. And it's 1-2. On one hop to Mendes at short. And there's 2 away.
some great defensive plays by Indy, as you see displayed in this top third.
So if 2 gone now, that brings up Nolan Dankert. The left fielder today is 0 for 2. He reached on an error, and he's popped out to short. Pine fires a first pitch fastball. Just missed off the plate. One out. Strike one. Just caught the corner there on another fastball. Pine trying to get that first 3 up, 3 down inning of the game for either side, and it'll be a much needed one for Indianapolis. Slow curve, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, it would be much needed for Pine, a confidence booster, and also be one of those rarities that we see in this game.
At the end of the bat, flies it down the left field line, a long run and a sliding attempt. To be made there is Caceres, who came in to replace Mendoza in between innings.
Yeah, and this one probably definitely a coach's decision needed there, as Mendoza had those 2 errors. So trying to fill that hole up in left field and make sure that no other errors are contributed by this Indy team.
Inside, and he swung on and missed. Pitch in the dirt. Lockhart flips it down to first, and that will end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Goes Milwaukee in the third. Indy to bat when you come back. Bottom 3, fresh off the first 3 up, 3 down inning of the game for either side. Top of the order here for Indianapolis, it's Micah Rinchak-Kirakov, who's 0 for 1 with a looking strikeout back to lead off the home half of the first. He made a spectacular diving catch earlier in this game out there in left center field, which would have really busted the game open for Milwaukee had he not made a Superman-esque grab.
Yeah, really great hustle play by the man. He was able to just keep on his horse and make sure that that ball did not get into the gap in left center.
0-2 the count. The wind up the pitch. Slider just missed high.
I'm sure he's wiping that sweat off the brow as the zone looked a little bit higher, but of course that one was a ball right there.
Fly ball left field, charging in is Dan Kurt. Underneath it, he makes the grab for the out.
That was not a bad pitch to swing at whatsoever. Rinchak-Kirakov, he's able to make really good contact with it. Just keeps hanging up in the air just a little bit. And the left fielder is able to make sure of that grab.
Cam Seats comes up 0 for 1 as well. Second time through for this Indianapolis lineup. Meanwhile, Milwaukee's middle third of their batting order about to come up for the third trip already, as we're in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, and if you're Milwaukee's coach right now, you're kind of just taking it all in and just patting all of you guys on the back right now.
2-ball count here to Seats. Ground out victim to second, his only trip up in the first. It's an inning in which they sent just 4 batters to the plate. DJ Mendes with a triple, but was stranded there with 2 outs. Two-0. 3 balls and no strikes.
You know, one thing to notice that I kind of like is Milwaukee's colors. They usually have them being that yellow and a little bit of that more so navy blue, but they come out in these very baby blue uniforms. And it's definitely a switch up from what you usually see.
I like them. They're sharp.
Yeah, definitely very sharp. I like it. It reminds me of a little bit about the new Nike uniforms that they've rolled out.
Inside, it's 3-1, and now ball 4. So Seats is aboard with a walk. Dry fit materials that some of these teams are using. Some teams choosing to try to replicate the big league jerseys we saw with the Kansas City team yesterday. Twins as well have a uniform that is a replica of the new Twins uniforms that Nike unveiled. I believe it was before the 2023 season, if I'm not mistaken, as that's strike 1 there to DJ Mendes, who is the one of 2 hits already for Indianapolis.
Yeah, and I like the new replication that all of these teams have been having with their jerseys, and definitely with the City Connects.
I love the City Connect idea. It's such a cool idea. I mean, there's some great, the city of Chicago, I think, has 2 really good ones. I mean, the White Sox one is phenomenal. There's a drive to right field, pushing Brackett back onto the track. He turns it over his head, and it bounces over the wall. It's a ground rule double. So the pair in scoring position here for Indianapolis as they try to start the comeback.
And this is what you really want to see for Indy finally having an extra base hit.
And now Will Jacobs will come on up, and before that, there will be a visit out there on the mound for Milwaukee Nike RBI.
Yeah, now visiting with your pitcher right here, just talking it through, especially with such a heavy hitter and Will Jacobs right now. He's on such a hot streak, so having that meeting is definitely mandatory. It's one thing to make sure that his pitcher isn't in his head and is able to control and make sure that he's able to work through Will Jacobs and the rest of the lineup.
Jacobs popped out to second to end the first inning. And he grounds that one to third. Coming to play with it is Goszinski, and he drops the ball on the tag. 1 run in, flying around third comes Mendes, throw to the plate there, safe there.
What an amazing hustle play by both of Indy's runners on the bags as Will Jacobs kind of just bloops that ball a little bit of a grounder, and the third baseman throws it to home. Not able to make the play, ball getting loose. DJ, man, going from second all the way home. Such a hustle play.
So fielder's choice. Blocked there from Harmon. Granderson was trying to get the guy at the plate there. Instead, it results in no outs and 2 runs across, and now the deficit, or the lead, is cut to 4, I should say. 1-0 to Calms. What will happen after Litkowicz re-engages?
Yeah, and if you're Indy here, you can finally breathe a little bit. It's being down 6-0 is definitely something that gets into your head as the game goes further along.
We're on the move, strike on the pitch, throw down to third. They got him. Beautiful throw from Harmon. And Jacobs is caught stealing at third.
And Harmon definitely had some coffee today, or he was able to just throw out Jacobs from the get-go. As soon as he saw him leave the bag, really great snap throw, and able to get him out at third.
"3-0. In there for ball 4. So now Carter Hunt will come on up. Runner on first, 2 outs. He worked a walk his last time. 6-2 game. Indy clawing their way back in this one. And there's a strike.
Yeah, and if you're Carter Hunt right here, you don't need to do nothing too special with the ball. Some good contact and getting yourself onto first base is the best thing you can do as of right now, kind of building that 2-out rally.
Corner thought about going on the slider that misses high. Going again, Harmon, snap throw, and a nice play there by Carmona. He just saved that one from going way down the right field foul line.
Yeah, I like Carmona's effort for that. He's trying to deke out the runner and trying to quickly make sure that he's able to get out of this inning as fast as possible.
Two. Swing and a miss, strike 3. High breaking ball that Hunt swung over. And that will end the inning. But Indy gets on the board for the first time today with a pair on a fielder's choice to the left side of the infield. We played 3. It's 6-2 Milwaukee Nike RBI. Six to 2 is the score, and the first pitch is a line drive rocket to left field for a base hit off the bat of Enrique Carmona. He's reached base now safely in all 3 plate appearances. That's his first hit, though. He's already driven 2 in this one with a RBI walk and an RBI hit by pitch.
Yeah, Carmona is able to have such great power there. He's able to make sure of it by getting that first pitch.
And now, not a good sign there, as Caceres, Seats is coming in here from left field, shaking up on the play.
Yeah, we sure hope that Seats is okay. Not too sure specifically what it is, but looks to be grabbing a little bit. of his knee.
So while Indy and the training staff here from UIC check him out, we'll take a break. 6-2 the score here on the Windy City Sports Network. Welcome back. Seats has exited the game, and Caden Taylor has entered to play left field for Indy Nike RBI. 6-2 the score as Sean Harmon takes that one for a ball. And Caceres is in right field now for Indy. Line drive, left side, base hit there for Harmon. First two have reached here in the Milwaukee fourth.
Yeah, Milwaukee has just been alive with these bats so far. Again, another inning where both their first and second guy up are back-to-back hits.
Jackson Glizniski comes on up 0 for 2. He's reached twice on a fielder's choice and an error. Trying to reach base for a third time. This time we get one in the hit column. He takes a strike on the outer third of the plate.
Yeah, so even though he's able to reach base, he's still trying to make way of that dry spell of not getting a hit this game.
Fly ball to right. Caceres makes the catch. Carmona is going to tag and retreat back to second base.
Smart play by Carmona there as he just realizes that he probably would have been gunned out if he were to try for third there.
So now with one out and the two guys on, DeAndre Lathan, the DH, comes on up. Fastball away for ball one. Popped him up. Right side, Jacobs makes the catch nearing the on-deck circle, and there's two away.
And Jacob's very vocal that it was his ball to call. He was able to grab that very easily, and here he goes for the second out.
So 2 out now. Jamil Torres will have to play the role of 2-out hero here, trying to keep the inning alive. Fastball in there, strike 1. Torres was hit by a pitch which drove in a run his last time up, which came in the second inning.
Torres in that batter's box.
Hit hard and fair inside the bag and down the left field line. Carmona gonna fly around. Taylor's throw to the plate is not in time. Carmona slides in under the tag, and it's 7-2.
It was one of those 50-50 balls where you kind of think that Carmona was going to be out, but he slides underneath that tag, making sure that he is safe and making sure that this inning is still alive. This inning kind of like a heartbeat, and Carmona being a little bit of that surgeon there, making sure that he's able to slide in safely and be alive.
And there's a base hit to right field. In to score is Harmon. And now they throw it away. It'll allow Brackett to go take second on the play. It's an RBI single, and it's 8-2.
A great piece of hitting there by Brackett and some heads-up base running as well. And now this Indy team just kind of defensively kind of falling apart.
And time is called as there'll be a meeting of the minds out there on the mound. And that'll be all for Pine. We'll step aside, 8-2, Milwaukee on top. 2 out here in the top of the 4th. Top of the order, New man on the bump for Indianapolis, Jackson Milburn. Takes that one upstairs for a ball. Was the top of the order man in Armani Camus. Couple of defensive changes for Indy as a result, as Camus takes them upstairs. Pine remains in the game to play third base. Calms slides out to go play left field. And Taylor's day is done. They've eliminated the designated hitter, I should add as well. Camus 2 for 3. Little, swing up along the first base line, but it's foul. Downstairs. Another base hit to left field. In to score is Torres. Brackett gets the stop sign at third. And it's 9-2.
Another great piece of contact there. I mean, have yourself a day, Milwaukee. They just keep on rolling with the ball and just hitting away.
Camus gets his first RBI of the day. Lawson Hink is the hitter. Runner on the move for second, pitches downstairs. They throw through to second and they throw it into center field. Scoring is Brackett. Camus to third. What has happened to Indianapolis Nike RBI here in game 3 of their regional? It's 10-2.
Yeah, on that one, you just kind of want to hold on to it, especially with the score just keep going away, not in your favor. So at this point, you should be worrying about the batter, of course, but not too sure what Indy's catcher was thinking right there.
Lockhart has been such a great player defensively this week, and a rare error for him, as this is popped up in foul ground. The catch is made by Pine, and it will end the inning. But Milwaukee has busted this one open as they lead it now 10-2 here on the Windy City Sports Network. Inside Curtis Granderson Stadium, 10-2. Milwaukee Nike RBI out in front after a massive inning where they put up 4 runs.
Yeah, massive inning by Milwaukee right there. I mean, they just keep hitting away.
High fly ball, center field. The catch is made by the second baseman, Camus, who drifted out there.
Great hustle play by Camus out there. Really good communication as he got about 4 or 5 guys actually trying to get that ball. Camus ends up the one grabbing that.
Now it misses, it's 2-0. This is Daniel Caceres. He's in right field right now. Slew of substitutions here.
And he's just taking his time at the plate right here, looking for a really good pitch to possibly hit, or maybe just laying off the next one as he has that 3-0 count. That's what batters usually do a lot of the times. They like to lay off that 3-0 count. We did see one player, though, yesterday. He almost hit a home run having that 3-0 count on him. He missed it.
Pop foul, and it's 3-2. On the ground weekly at the third. Throw on the run is in time. And there's 2 away. Nice job. Lizhaniski on the play. And there's 2 gone.
A great hustle play by Glishansky right there. He's able to just corral that baseball, running on in from third, making sure that he's able to have a grip on that ball, throwing it firmly to first and securing the out there.
Fouled off the first base side. 2 gone now here, bottom 4, 10-2 as Pine comes up to bat for the first time.
You know, with the score being so much in favor of Milwaukee, as your indie hitter, you kind of get a little discouraged, but you got to kind of flip off that switch of discouragement and start thinking to play a little bit of catch-up.
0-2. Downstairs. Litkowicz has not had a 3-up, 3-down inning yet. He's a strike away from it. 1-2. Weak chopper to third. Charging is Lizhaniski, and he bobbles the ball, and Pine is safe at first.
That one a little bit of a tougher of a play as that ball dies about 3 to 5 feet in front of him. Not able to corral that one as quickly as possible.
Upstairs, and it's 1-0. Top of the order, Micah Rienstra-Kirikov. They're going to rule that an error. First error of the game for Milwaukee. 1-0. The home run derby champ goes up 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, such a great eye off this kid. He's able to just make sure, looking for the pitch to really hit, but it might take a little while.
2-0. Slow curve in there.
like about this approach between these two last hitters is that they're able to calmly work up the pitch count.
And he works a walk with 2 away. So back-to-back 2-out base runners here for Indianapolis. An inning they so desperately needed after another crooked number was put up in the top half of this inning. 4 runs on 5 hits for Milwaukee in the top half of the 4th. There's ball 1 in there to Caden Taylor. Or, I beg your pardon, actually Jackson Milburn.
Yeah, and there's been bunches of hitting for this Milwaukee team, especially in this game. I mean, 2 crooked numbers already, both 4 pieces in that 2nd and 4th inning.
3-0 the count to Milburn, and Harmon's going to go out there for a quick chat.
And deservingly so. Good chat about command. Of course, walking the batter before already, don't want to walk another and load the bases up.
We saw Milburn yesterday. Come in and pitch against Gary. Only threw 11 pitches. 3-0. Downstairs, and that's ball 4. Command becoming an issue right now for Litkowicz here in the home 4th. Back-to-back walks with 2 away. And now it's going to bring out a meeting of the minds. Possibly a switch here, we'll see. For Milwaukee. Litkowicz did a phenomenal job limiting a really talented offense.
Yeah, he did an amazing job, only allowing 2 runs to score, and that was off of that fielder's choice. Other than that, Indy has not had an answer for him at any point in this game.
It's going to remain in the game, though.
And I'm sure, just like many pitching coaches and coaches in general, they're just loosening up the mindset of a pitcher, just making sure that he's not in his head as much. Sometimes that happens where coaches will just say a really quick, funny joke or just random thoughts or random strategies as well. And those strategies seem to work.
That is downstairs to DJ Mendes, 5 straight. In the ball column here, Litkowicz just trying to get out of this frame. 2 outs, 10-2 game. Mendes takes a strike. That was just so needed right there for the right-hander for Milwaukee.
Yeah, and you can finally just ease off all of that tension that was built up from throwing so many consecutive balls.
1-1. Just off the plate.
Yeah, his pitches aren't missing by much. It's just probably 3 to 4 inches. It's not too much.
Mendes has tripled and doubled in this one as Litkowicz will step off. Swinging a ground ball, base hit left side. In to score comes Pine. Rincha Kirikov dives in safely. It's a 2 RBI single for DJ Mendes, and it's 10-4.
Rincha Kirikov has no match to that baseball. He has such good speed going all the way from second to home. Indy able to put 2 more up on the board.
And that's going to do it for Litkowicz. We'll take a break. Indy with a couple of 2-out runs here. A nice 2-out rally forming here on the Windy City Sports Network. Brady Scott, the right-hander, into the game to pitch here for Milwaukee. Nike RBI. Class of 2025 out of Ronald Reagan in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So both starters could not get past the 3 2/3 mark. Litkowicz did a great job there. 4 runs, only 3 of them will be earned because of the error made at third by Glizhiniski earlier in this inning, as Will Jacobs steps in.
Yeah, it was a great outing by Glizhiniski there. He's able to have only 3 earned runs off of him with the error by the third baseman on one of the plays. So good outing by him. Pats on the backs and high fives from all of his teammates, and he gets to rest up as Milwaukee is definitely in the driver's seat with this game, of course. Still a 2-out rally, though, so we'll see how this all measures up at the end of the game.
1-0. Good block by Harmon. And it's 2-0. That really prevented both runners from trying to advance there.
Yeah, being that brick wall that he is, he's able to secure that baseball, make sure that the runners don't advance another 90 feet.
Popped him up in foul territory. Harmon nears the screen and he makes the catch to end the inning. India get 2 more back. They still trail by 6 though, 10-4 through 4. Top 5 here, and that one's lined back up the middle, but caught there in center by Rincha Kirikov for out number 1. That came off the bat of Nolan Dankert. And now it'll bring up Enrique Carmona.
Carmona last time up, he had a really great single. That one to left field.
Carmona goes up 2 balls and no strikes. Still Milburn out there, the first reliever for Indy to use today. And he gets a strike. The team from the Circle City First off, a 2-run on 1-hit inning. They were the beneficiaries of 1 error as Carmona gets that one over the leaping glove of the shortstop Mendes and into left center for a base hit. And it's a 1-out single.
That
for Enrique Carmona.
That one just being a long single there as Kirchhoff is able to secure the baseball, cutting it off, making sure that it doesn't travel all the way to the end of the outfield there. So long single by him, really great contact by Carmona.
Sean Harmon lays that one off. Harmon's 1 for 2 officially, but does have an RBI via hit by pitch with the bases loaded. He singled and scored his last trip to the dish, which came in the visitors' half of the 4th inning of play. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball.
Yeah, that was a big swing by Harmon there. He's just looking at that, trying to figure out if he's going to want to murder that baseball.
Kick in the 1-1. Tipped in there. And it's 1-2.
It's kind of the same location of the pitcher there, and Harmon able to just get a little piece of contact off of that one.
Weak tap, but that could roll back into foul territory if they want to. However, it finally dies in foul ground. No chance of it coming back.
Yeah, with no real wind, and turf kind of, it's a little bouncy, but not as much as they have on the dirt. So no real way for the ball to turn into a foul to fair ball on that for the roller. Some really great heads-up base running there by Harmoni. He's able to just make sure to get the second safely standing up.
Welcome back. We apologize for the technical difficulties. As it is currently 11-4. Base is still loaded. 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. As that one misses off the plate. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Maddox bracket. So here's what you missed here in the 5th inning. Nolan Dankert flew out to center field to lead off the frame, followed by a single from Enrique Carmona, who will later advance the wild pitch. Now they have the runner held up between home and third, and he tries to dance around from it and out at the plate. There's the runner, and that will end the inning. So we'll give you the full recap after this break. 11-4, Milwaukee on top as we go bottom 5. Welcome back, 11-4 the score. As J.J. Calms, left fielder, steps in. Brady Scott still out there for Milwaukee. First pitch ground ball to short. Torres charges. The throw is offline. But a nice pick there at first. Off the bench and immediately into the game and making a very fine defensive play out there is Standowski of Milwaukee.
Yeah, Stankowski getting off the bench right there, able to make an amazing pick play. Seeing some action already in this game.
Stanislawski enters the game, a switch hitter from New Berlin, Wisconsin, as he comes in and makes a great play on the back end of a nice job by Torres at short. We talked about the last inning recap. Carmona singled, followed by a fly out to left field by Sean Harmon, a hit by pitch, a wild pitch that allowed runners to advance, a walk of Lathan, and then a bases loaded hit by pitch of Jamil Torres drove in the 11th run of the game for Milwaukee. 11-4, Milwaukee Nike RBI has 11 runs on 10 hits with an error, and Indianapolis has 4 runs on 4 hits. They have as many runs and hits as they have committed errors defensively in this one.
Yeah, and that's something you kind of don't want to see if you're that Indy team trying to eliminate those errors in this next upcoming game. Not many errors being seen in those first 2 games. It's definitely a long stretch of games that you have to work with, so you got to give it some room to make way of why this is happening.
Carter Hunt, excuse me, cuts and misses from that pitch from Brady Scott, and it's 0-2. With 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Go 2. Slow curve, he got him.
That one just broke at the last minute. You could see it just fools the batter, just freezes him up as much as possible. Looked like it was a little bit of daydreaming because of how much he got frozen up on that curve.
Brian Lockhart's 0 for 2. He steps in and swings first pitch and lines that one through the right side for a base hit. That's got to feel good for him as he celebrates on his way down to first with a base hit with 2 away.
Yeah, raises both arms up like Superman right there as he's just celebrating how he finally has a hit on this game. It's a good opposite power hit as well. Just slide it through.
It's also Lockhart's first hit of the tournament as well.
Oh, catches a big breather there. Finally,
Yeah, the breath is 10 times bigger.
He's able to finally get one and hopefully build off of that as the tournament progresses.
Saras takes a strike. And it's 0-2 to the left fielder, or right fielder, I should say. He started out in left and switched over to right amongst the main defensive changes for Indy. Pops it up to the right side. This could be trouble. Kamas racing over, and he makes the catch. Beautiful running grab out there in a short right field by the second baseman. And that will end the inning. So nothing comes to the 2-out single from Lockhart. We played 5. 11-4. Milwaukee Nike RBI out in front. First pitch, and a pinch hitter in here for Milwaukee Nike RBI. As we're at the top of the 6th inning, 11-4. They're on top and dropping the bunt down. Charging is Piney. Bare hands the fair ball. Long throw across, and he's not in time. Great hustle there. Beating out what was a really great play by Pine at third.
Yeah, great play and a greater run over there by the pinch hitter. Pine has amazing defense, but oh my God, the bunt is just amazingly placed right there.
That was Owen Hurth on the bunt for the single. Hurth, class of 2025 from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Top of the order, and Amos takes a strike. Hurth was batting in place of Brackett. Right fielder, he's on the move, pitches upstairs for a ball, throw down a second, safe. Hurth the stolen base there. He is showing off his legs and his quickness in this 6th inning already.
Yeah, Hurth is just one man of so much speed. I'm sure he embodies the Flash.
Amos pops this one up. If it wasn't for the roof over our heads, I would have caught that one.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Just saying, I would have caught it. I was here. I've established my positioning. I would have caught it, or if not, I would have drawn a defensive foul. I got 2 shots at the line.
2 shots at the line, and just going from there.
1-2 in the dirt. Hurth on the move. Throw down to third. Safe there again. Lockhart with a great throw. It was on the line.
And Lockhart has a really good arm there, but Hurth, oh my God, his speed is just amazing. He's just displayed it with the bunt, then stealing second, now stealing third. I mean, at this point, why not just steal home?
We saw it yesterday.
We did see it yesterday. It was a really great display of speed over there, and it was
Finley of Kansas City Royals Nike RBI baseball against Gary in that one. 2-2. Camus pops it up. Nears the seats. And it's on the roof again.
So maybe we need a retractable roof, and at that point, maybe we could call up Milwaukee, ask them about how they got their retractable roof, a little bit of a contractor, and we could get that baseball for you.
They'll flip it over the screen.
2 of them.
And so 2 new baseballs have been added to the collection.
A few more as well.
Three and two with no one out, a runner on third. Up the middle, hang up there for Rinsha Kirikov, who makes the catch. Tagging from third comes Hurth. The throw's up the line. It's a sacrifice fly for Camus, and it's 12-4 Milwaukee Nike RBI.
And some good contact by Camus there. Nothing to complain about on that hit right there, as Rinsha Kirikov catches the ball, makes sure of it to be just 1 RBI instead of RBI and another person on base. Milwaukee just keeps adding to their lead little by little.
Austin Hink will come back on up. 1 for 4 showing, but he's reached base twice and has scored a pair of runs. Weak tapper off the end of the bat up the first base line. Jacobs will pick it up and will win the race to the bag for the second out here in the 6th.
You know, sometimes first basemen, they love those races right there. Other times they just pause and make sure to tag the runner as quickly as possible. It's all kind of a sense of display of what I kind of want to do with this baseball in this particular moment, and knowing their surroundings and the person's speed. And first baseman there realizes, hey, why don't I just go for this little bit of a sprint right there.
We got another pinch hitter here for Milwaukee. And it's 2-0 now. It's Jose Delgado. Delgado, class of 2025. It's an opportunity here in the 6th inning in place of Dankert. And he swings first pitch, pops it up right side. Jacobs gives it chase, but runs out of real estate. It's a foul ball, and the count goes to 2-2.
Yeah, Delgado's got some really good contact there off of that one. Goes foul, though. But, I mean, the last 2 pitches he swung at, he's been kind of swinging out of his shoes a little bit, trying to swing a little heavier. We'll see as this count goes to 2-2.
Downstairs. And it's full. Right side fouled off again.
You know, every hitter has a dream count. I think that for me, this is definitely a dream count right here. You get full count, 2 outs, and it's basically a last pitch, so trying to find a way to survive and make sure that you can get on base.
Swings and misses at that one, and that concludes the inning. Milwaukee gets one more back. It is 12-4 as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Bottom six. Jack Pine to lead things off all by the top of the order for Indianapolis RBI. And that one is taken for a strike. Pine won at bat today, and it was reached on an E5. That was the old third baseman Glishansky. Lathan, the designated hitter, enters to play the field defensively. He's at that third base spot. Delgado remains in the game in the left field. And that's all the defensive changes for the MKE RBI side. 1-1. Pine fouls it off the protective netting behind home, and it's 1-2. So 12-4 here. So barring a miracle these final two innings, Indy's going to drop to 2-1, and Milwaukee's going to get to 2-1. And the head-to-head tiebreaker gets Milwaukee up and possibly in. They obviously have one more game. That's actually right after the conclusion of this one. They'll take on the host Chicago Cubs Nike RBI, approximately 11:30 local time start. Central time zone for anyone watching on the East Coast. Yes, there's a cut and a miss there for strike three. Pine down on strikes. Another strikeout there for Scott. His second, as the top of the order will come back up, and Micah Rienstra-Kirikov, excuse me.
Yeah, and if you're Indy right here, you have two more innings to work with. You're kind of wishing for a miracle to happen, of course. But it comes at the time where, okay, now we know that we're going to be 2-1. We still have another game to play. It's one of those points where, as your coach, you're kind of thinking to your hitters to possibly at least make the run differential a little closer than it is right now, and that's the best that you can hope for.
Well, one misses away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rienstra-Kirikov and the rest of his teammates at Indianapolis Nike RBI have one more game today. 2 p.m. across the street at St. Ignatius High School, taking on Minnesota Twins and Nike RBI. The game will not be aired here on the Windy City Sports Network, so this is our possibly final chance to see this Indy team, unless they obviously reach tomorrow's final. Rienstra-Kirikov did not go, and that's ball 4. And it's a 1-out base runner there for Indy. That's kind of what you need at this point in the game when you're down by 8 runs and are down to your final 5 outs. You just need base runners.
Yeah, and you get those base runners by being very selective with your pitches. At this point of the game, you're kind of just looking to see, not just waiting until 1 strike is thrown, and kind of getting more aggressive as time goes on.
Strike 1 to Jackson Milburn, the pitcher. Walked his only trip to the plate. This one, and it's inside. Still got another inning left here in this one. Milwaukee like to tack on some more, really help out the runs allowed and the runs differential. Especially the differential if we can get the runs scored going.
Yeah, if you're having to score some runs, that could definitely help out with the run differential there.
Swing and a miss, 1-2. Great off-speed pitch there from Scott.
It leaves him swinging a little bit too early, and it's definitely harder to hit those off-speed pitches because how slow in motion it is.
Called, strike 3. And there's 2 away on a front door curveball. Third strikeout for Scott out of the bullpen. He's been really sharp for them.
Yeah, it was amazing placement by Scott there. He's able to just hit that front door curveball, frees up the hitter as much as possible, and his 3rd strikeout of the game.
Oh, misses for a ball. DJ Mendes, 3 for 3, triple, double, single.
And Mendes keeps having.
Are we gonna say it? Are we gonna put it out there?
I'm not gonna say it at all. I'm gonna just I'm gonna let this one ride out.
Oh, and he got hit.
See, that's why I let it ride out. I'm not gonna say anything.
It's not your
about
fault,
that.
James. Don't worry. It's not your fault. Indy fans do not play James Winkin for that one.
You're playing with it a little.
Don't blame James for that one. There's other announcer jinxes that we will fully admit to. Don't blame him for that. We didn't say it. Now I can say it. He was a homer short of the cycle.
Yeah. I mean, now you can definitely say that. I mean, still 2 innings left. You have to have a miracle, though, and these Indy hitters to hit all the way around. But it's going to be slim to none chance of that happening.
Well, Jacobs 0 for 3. Yeah, the count evens out to 1-1. One of the 2 home run hitters for Indy yesterday. We saw Jacobs get one. J.J. Combs, the man on deck, got one as well. 1-1. A little tight on a fastball. And now they got the runner, this trail runner hung up. He fakes out the tag, and now it'll be Scott will try to chase him down, and he's going to be tagged out there. And that will end the inning. A 2-3-1 rundown executed there by the right side of that infield. Mendes is trying to argue the call. You could also make the case that he was way out of the base path as well. So regardless, that'll do it. And that's the game as well. So Milwaukee Nike RBI in 6 innings are victorious over Indianapolis by a score of 12-4.
Yeah, and if you're Milwaukee right now, your heads go up really high, as Indy was seen as that team to beat, being 2-0 from pool play. Not too sure. I guess we're.
So that's the game, yeah. So yeah, 2-1 now for each team. Indy drops, Milwaukee increases, and that'll do it for us. Join us in about a half an hour or so, 11:30 Central Time, for Milwaukee and Chicago. That being the Chicago Cubs Nike RBI teams, as those 2 teams meet up here in the Central Regional Tournament. Or is it time? Let's see. I don't know. They signaled that the game was off. That Indy is just taking the field right now. There's not a run rule in place. However, we've surpassed the 2-hour time limit. And I guess actually we're going to play on.
Yeah,
So we're going to play a full 7.
Playing a
So
full
disregard everything we just said. We're going to the top of the 7th, which means we're going to go to a break. 12-4. Top of the 7th. Thanks for staying with us. This game's not over. Unlike even though the umpire said it was over, it's not. Kevin Millard, James Winkin. Thanks so much for staying with us here. As Milwaukee Nike RBI leads 12-4. I guess this is an opportunity for them to really increase their run scored as Stanislawski laces that one to left center field. That splits the gaps. Combs cuts it off in the gap and holds the new first baseman for Milwaukee to a long but yet solid leadoff single.
Yeah, very powerful single off there. Kind of talking about what we all thought that game was over as both teams started to line up, but they said, hey, we're just going to let the kids play.
Yeah, that is what they did. I mean, technically what the home plate umpire did was right by the rule book.
Yeah, by the rule book.
By the rule book, what he did was completely correct.
Yeah.
Just saying that's it, that's the game. I guess yesterday the time limit wasn't really enforced either. When you look back at some of the games we had a couple games that, I mean, we'd one that was 2:30.
Yeah.
And a 2-hour time slot. So you get what you get. That's the beauty of this tournament baseball, and that's always the tough part about baseball is that you can't put a clock on the sport.
No, I feel like, I mean, with the MLB, they've tried to, but even then, it's still a decently long game. I mean, definitely shorter than it was before, but that's the beauty of baseball. It just you get to watch every single at-bat, every single pitch, and see the outcome of whatever's going to happen.
That's a strike. This is Sean Harmon in there, and it's 1-2. Stanislawski, a slight lead off of first. Milburn gets him swinging, and there's one gone in the 7th.
Some great pitching by Milburn on that. Is able to get a strikeout right there and then.
So that brings up the pitcher here in Brady Scott. It's a hit here in this spot. And he pops that one foul. Scott, this is his first at-bat of the game as he's batting for the third baseman, the starting third baseman, Jackson Gluziniski.
Scout just whiffs on that one a little bit.
Strike 3 called, and there's 2 gone. Back-to-back Ks there for Milburn.
And Milburn trying to see if he could get that trifecta now with the 2 Ks already on his belt this inning.
As they'll make another substitution. Here for Milwaukee. As they're gonna bring in Nathaniel Montanez off the bench, and he lifts that one in the air, first pitch center field. And rings for Kirikov underneath it, makes the grab. To retire the side, nothing comes to the leadoff single by Stanislawski. We go bottom 7th. Last steps for Indy Nike RBI, trailing by 8. Bottom 7. And the first pitch there taken by Will Jacobs from Brady Scott. Milwaukee 3 outs away from a victory here. And the 0-1. 0-2, way out in front of that changeup there. Cubs Nike RBI waiting in the wings. That's on the ground to the left side. Torres bobbles the backhanded try, and Jacobs is aboard.
Will Jacobs just catches a break there. He's able to make sure that he is securely on first as there's a bobble play by the shortstop there.
He's 6, so Jacobs is officially 0 for 4. He has reached twice, though, on a fielder's choice and now an error as J.J. Combs will come on up. 1 for 2 showing with a walk as well. J.J. takes that one upstairs.
That's the thing about baseball. You could go 7 for 7 and then the next day go 0 for 4. It's 2 different worlds that you see. So many different games that you play.
2-0 the count to the left fielder. Long holder from Scott, the pitch. Down the pipe for a strike. Combs lines that one to left field to his left, and a leaping catch there by Delgado in the gap for the first down.
Delgado getting on his horse and able to secure that baseball. Shifts on over. Running to his left and then popping up for that play. Will securely make the grab.
Chucky on the runner, and he's safe there. Hunt takes that one high, snap throw back to first, he's safe there. So Milwaukee now, they have the fun back-to-back now part of this morning doubleheader where they got to play right afterwards. Cubs Nike RBI will be doing the same here shortly as their game against Milwaukee is the first game of their back-to-back. They'll play Kansas City as well in the latter half of that back-to-back. And for Indy, the one good thing about this result is that they do have some time off. They don't have to play the back-to-back like a Milwaukee does right now. They have some time to reconcile and readjust.
Yeah, some time to reconcile, readjust, just recuperate, and they'll be back at it against the Cubs, which should be a really fun matchup, especially with Milwaukee in the driver's seat right now. So we'll see how the Cubs do against them in their pool play as they're 0-2. So Cubs looking for a break and trying to finally get a victory secured under their belt.
Yeah, tough sledding for the host program. 0-2 with 2 really close losses as well. I mean, those are games that you really could consider coin flips. They lost by 3 to the White Sox Nike RBI team. Only lost by 2 to Minnesota. I mean, a couple of bounces, couple of hits here and there in different situations, and you can be on the other side of the scoreboard as that's popped up right side. Stanislavski secures it for the second out, and Milwaukee's an out away.
A great can of corn catch right there. But yeah, as you were saying about the Cubs, I mean, those games are really tough to handle as you come up so close, but yeah, so short and very tight windows. They hope to bounce back, though, in these next 2 games that they're playing.
Snap throw back. And safe there at first is Jacobs. And you look at the math and the numbers and whatnot. 0-2, pretty hard to get in. However, one of the results they needed was either one of Indy or the other Chicago team to drop both their games. Half of that part's being accomplished right now. 8 runs with only 1 out to do it seems nearly impossible at this point as Lockhart takes that one upstairs 3-0. Never say never, though, as you said earlier, which is a very great thing to live by. But yeah, I mean, big leg kick there from Lockhart. And it's ball 4. So a 2-out base runner, pair of them on now here for Indianapolis. And you look at the results across the tournament field right now. White Sox Nike RBI won pretty handily against Kansas City 9-1. That one nearly gets away. Good snag there by Harmon. So really at this point, if you're Cubs Nike RBI, the probably preferable path I would imagine is Sox going 4-0. Indy needs to drop their game to Minnesota, and the Cubs go 2-0, and you hope you get on the right side of a lot of tiebreakers. As that is a balk on Scott, and both runners will advance.
Yeah, if you're the Cubs RBI team right now, just making sure that you're on the front side of those tiebreakers will definitely help, going 2-2, and you kind of just have to hope for the best and hope that Indy is able to lose this next game. It's going to be definitely a waiting game with them, and then lots of grit and power that they're going to have to go through in these next 2 games.
Saris takes the ball. Tie-breaking procedures according to the rule book that was shared with the coaches and members of the media. Number 1, tiebreakers head-to-head, which includes instances of non-common opponents as well. So one of the teams the Cubs could be tied with is a team that's currently up 12-4 right now in Milwaukee. As Caceres flings that one off the end of the bat out of play right side. 2-2. On the ground, left side. Montanez across the diamond, and he came off the bag, and he got back on there to end it. Stanislawski somehow found the footing at the last possible second, and that will end the game. 12-4, the final. Milwaukee gets the 2-1.
So the game that we thought ended in the 6th inning, it will end actually in the 7th inning as both teams line up.
John Boggs, the manager right now, out there talking with the infield umpire as they're going to talk things over. And they confirm the call on the field, and that's the game. 12-4 is your final score. Milwaukee absolutely dominates this one. We got a half-hour break or so. Stay tuned shortly for Milwaukee Nike RBI and the Chicago Cubs Nike RBI. For my partner James Wickett, I've been Kevin Mulliner. We thank you for watching this presentation of the 2024 MLB Nike RBI Central Regional Tournament on the Windy City Sports Network.